Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys urged to sign ex-Bills RB in late free agency move. The Dallas Cowboys have already added 2 veterans to their 2024 RB group, but they could also add a former Buffalo Bills RB. While Ezekiel Elliott and Royce Freeman provide an injection of experience, Dallas is now being named a potential home for veteran RB Leonard Fournette. Fournette is entering his 8th NFL season after spending the 2023 campaign with the Bills. While the former LSU star's best years seem to be behind him, CBS Sports' Tyler Sullivan believes he could be a smart addition for the Cowboys. Dallas' backfield could use some depth in the aftermath of losing Tony Pollard in free agency earlier this offseason. The club did bring back Ezekiel Elliott to give themselves a familiar option, but Zeke shouldn't be looked at as the same player he was during the bulk of his first stint with the organization, Sullivan wrote on July 9. Beyond Elliott, the Cowboys have Rico Dowdle, Royce Freeman, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, Snoop Connor and Nathaniel Pete on the running back depth chart. Not exactly a murderer's row. While Fournette isn't the same player he once was, he'd provide them a cheap option that raises the backfield's floor. In terms of his experience and value, there may not be a better option for Dallas. Throughout his high school and college years, Fournette was a massive prospect. After taking the Southeast by storm at St. Augustine High School, he then dominated at LSU. When it came time for the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected him as the 4th overall pick of the 2017 NFL Draft. Almost immediately, Fournette was making an impact. The now 29-year-old ran for 1,040 yards as a rookie, scoring 10 total touchdowns. Fournette helped lead Jacksonville to their first playoff appearance in a decade, but that begot struggles in Duval County. Fournette was banged up the majority of the 2018 campaign, missing half of the season. He rebounded with his best NFL season, totaling 1,652 yards from scrimmage in 2019 according to Pro Football Reference. But Jacksonville was moving on, eventually letting him sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. While in Tampa, Fournette won a Super Bowl and developed his Playoff Lenny nickname as he scored 6 touchdowns in 6 playoff appearances for the Bucs. While Fournette could be an option for Dallas, the idea is that he would work alongside Elliott. However, Cowboys Wire's KD Drummond believes that Elliott could be released before the fall. Ezekiel Elliott not making the roster would, by far, be the most surprising outcome of this year's training camp, but it can't be wholly dismissed. On July 8. While there isn't another proven back on the roster, $1.6 million in guarantees isn't enough to guarantee a player a roster spot. Drummond's argument is that the Cowboys don't have a financial burden to keep Elliott. While that may be true, it's hard to see how Elliott doesn't make the squad. The Cowboys' RB group is a wide mix of players, but only 1 or 2 will likely be outright better than Elliott. If the Cowboys cut Elliott, that will be representative of a much bigger problem than the RB position. Cowboys' Micah Parsons fires passionate reaction to edge rusher rankings. As fans and pundits wait for NFL training camps to open, lists, rankings and hot takes are sure to fill both the airwaves and social media. While commonplace in NFL media, Dallas Cowboys star Micah Parsons took offense to his ranking in one of the more recent lists. Parsons was ranked as the number 3 overall edge rusher in an article by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. The voting process consisted of over 80 voters that featured league executives, coaches, and scouts. While at least one voter had him at number 1, another had him as low as number 7. No matter who was involved in the voting, Parsons wasn't impressed with their assessment of his game and his 167 double teams. There's no way it was 167 double teams. Parsons wrote on XMF, "Can't FWM man. It's up this year on Mamas. 2 weeks. Most double-teamed player, but I have best pass rush percentage and most pressures." Saying production low something not adding up, Parsons continued, including a lion emoji with his tweet. The pass rusher was actually getting praise for recording 14 sacks, despite facing a league high in double teens. Still, Parsons believes he should have gotten more credit. The one area those voters did give Parsons some flack for was his work in the run game. Unreal athleticism for the position, twitch, speed and bend is phenomenal, an NFL coordinator said. His issues are really more in the run game than anything else. When he has to take on heavy stuff, that's where you feel the lack of size a bit. Micah Parsons seems dedicated to honing his craft and improving his run game ability on top of his already explosive pass rush prowess. While his focus will be on getting the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, he won't hate shutting the doubters up in the process. If he wants to get to number 1 on the list, at least in the voters' eyes, he'll need to put together a season better than this year's top 2 pass rushers, Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers' T.J. Watt. Micah Parsons has been a Pro Bowler every year he has been in the league. He's a former Defensive Rookie of the Year and a 2-time All-Pro. But after missing out on a first-team All-Pro season in 2023, Parsons is looking to get back into the upper echelon. That's not to say his 2023 campaign took him out of his 14 sacks were a new career high. He registered 64 tackles, 18 for a loss, 33 quarterback hits, a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Parsons still got his Pro Bowl nomination. But more so than any list or ranking, Parsons will need to take on an even bigger role as Dallas prepares for the 2024 campaign. With Dan Quinn now the Washington Commanders' head coach, Mike Zimmer has replaced him as defensive coordinator. Zimmer has years of coaching experience both as a coordinator and a lead man. But this will be his first year under the Cowboys' current regime. As Zimmer works to build his system, Parsons will function as a key focal point and a player to strategize around. In turn, Parsons will be looked at to help build the culture under Zimmer and buy into the system. With so much playoff disappointment, the Cowboys need to refocus their strategy and get back to winning key football games. Whatever the strategy may be, everyone must trust in it and operate to their best ability. If Dallas can achieve that goal, Micah Parsons will be at the center of the team's growth. A long playoff run would certainly up Parsons' standing on more than just one list. Parsons would revel in the opportunity to say, "I told you so." Analyst says Cowboys star should leave the team. The Dallas Cowboys have several stars who are looking for contract extensions right now, but the biggest and most important one is quarterback Dak Prescott. Though the sides reportedly have held contract talks, they are not close to an agreement, and it is looking more likely that Prescott could play out the 2024 season and then become a free agent. People are starting to contemplate the Cowboys and Prescott parting ways after this coming season, and on Speak on FS1, James Jones said Prescott should leave because Dallas hasn't shown it wants him to stay. "I think he should want out," Jones said. "And the main reason he should want out is because you guys ain't really showed me that y'all really want me like that." One would think owner Jerry Jones would have been more aggressive this offseason in making sure he secured Prescott with an extension, but that hasn't happened. One has to wonder if the Cowboys aren't even sure they want Prescott to be their QB past the 2024 season. In 2023, the 30-year-old had a sensational regular season in which he led the NFL in passing touchdowns and was a legitimate MVP candidate, but as usual, he greatly underperformed in the playoffs as Dallas got trounced in the wild-card round by the Green Bay Packers. Behind Prescott, the Cowboys have an intriguing young signal caller in Trey Lance, who was the number 3 pick in the 2021 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers, and there are those who may want to give him a chance to become their QB of the future. For now, however, they do have plenty of talent, and they will go as far as Prescott takes them in January and, they hope, in February. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.